Hi everyone, good morning. Again, I wasn't anticipating doing another video like I never do usually, but I feel like I should because there's been a lot of uproar in the Britannia fandom over some comments that Heather Morris made yesterday. Tumblr's kind of going apeshit right now. People are arguing, and I thought I'd just bring it to all of your attention if you're not on Tumblr or Twitter. So I'll just go straight to the actual comments themselves, and then we can discuss, what I think about them, or maybe you can tell me what you think about them. So I'm gonna take this directly from my Twitter, which I can also give you the link for my Twitter if you want. But apparently, TVGuideMagazine was on set yesterday. They were doing more with the whole I was talking about in the previous video about the TCA, Television Critics Association winter thing that's going on right now. So I guess that they were invited on set, and it was different this time because people who weren't at the event in Pasadena last week or so were here. So that means that Chord Overstreet was there, Heather Morris was there, and I think Darren Criss, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll pretty much read verbatim what these tweets said. Okay, so don't mind me as I go back and read these tweets. Okay, so these happened all yesterday from TV Guide Magazine. They're having a panel. So the executive producer, Dante Di Loreto, did some talking, and he also spoke to, I believe, TVLine.com in greater length. So he said, "This show made it okay to be an outsider and to sing and dance." Darren Criss had said it's good to have some troubled water in order to have some payoff in the end. Speaking of Blaine and Kurt. And then he also says it is real and it isn't a picture perfect couple, but of course I want to see them together, duh. So that's good for him that he says that. The Dante again says there is romance in the air and there is wedding in the air because there are set decorations for Valentine's Day. So we know, or they've said that like they're in the middle of shooting Diva, which is Santana's big episode, and they're also, they don't shoot all of the episodes all at once. They kind of go in between. So we've also know through spoilers that, mind you, these are spoilers. So if you don't want to know what's happening, I suggest you don't watch the rest of this. It's kind of not. It's pretty obvious that Will and Emma are going to get married. That's the wedding that's in the air, and that they're kind of doing like a two-part Valentine's Day episode. Also, if you don't know, supposedly, Kurt is bringing Blaine to this wedding as his date, and that they sing a duet to Emma and Will on their wedding, and they also do make out. This is according to Ryan Murphy. He says that on his Twitter page. And then Kevin McHale says, uh, it went from us feeling like older brothers or sisters to us learning from them, talking about the new kids on Glee. And then Dante Di Loreto says, I wouldn't be surprised if you find other cast members end up in New York. Because obviously at the end of the season, the seniors who are graduating or should be graduating are Brittany, Tina, Artie, and Sam. And then apparently they were shooting a musical number that they just learned yesterday, which goes to show how much faster the cast is moving. So these next couple of quotes are from Heather herself. She says, I think that Santana and Brittany's relationship is more best friends, and she stuck with me. And then she also says, I think being with Sam gives her more room to be herself because they're both weird. Dante says, we had an amazing time doing the last tour. We'd all love to do it again. It's just about finding the time. And then he goes, there is a milestone coming up that's very important. Um, Heather says, I want my character to go to jail. It would be the best story ever. Artie, Kevin McHale says, it seems natural Artie would pursue the directing thing as long as it doesn't cut off the singing. Chord Overstreet says he wants Sam to move to Nashville and play country music. And then Darren says, I would like to see Blaine struggle after graduation. I just want to be on the show, he says. So these were, a lot of the tweets or the information that a lot of people were taking and then putting them on Tumblr, and people are freaking out. Obviously, I think the lines, obviously, Britannia fans are freaking out about was the line of Heather says, I think that Santana and Brittany's relationship is more best friends, and she's stuck with me. And then the fact that, like, Sam gives her more room to be herself. Um, and I think that a lot of people are, I mean, this is not my opinion, you can take it as you will, whatever you want. And from that, a lot of other sources pull from what TVGuide.com said, and other sources are on set, like TVLine.com, and they kind of pulled, I'm sorry, my hair looks like a mess, compiled all of the things that they were saying together, So I, at first, obviously had a very horrible reaction to this, and I was like, oh my god, Heather, what are you saying? But then I have to remember who's saying it's Heather. Heather's saying this. And Heather has notoriously shied away from the press. She hasn't done that much press at all this year. She's been largely absent in many of the events that are related to Glee. So I feel like she kind of did this out of obligation, like she was kind of forced to be a part of this panel or answer these questions. And you need to remember that Heather's being Heather a lot of the time. She doesn't really have a filter per se. This is all new to her. I mean, not so new to her now. This is like she's in her fourth year of this, being in this business. But I can only imagine what it's like to have to adjust to this. It's not like she's Naya, who's been in this since she was like 3. So she's like Naya's been conditioned to know how to react to these questions and how to, navigate the waters a little bit. Heather's had more experience, but I still think that she's not comfortable with all the spotlight on her. Just like I don't think I would be. I wouldn't be at all. So I try to have that perspective from it, and also I think that she enjoys to like just play around with the press. And it's very easy to read what she wrote and not really get the meaning behind it, because you could just read it and just take it as face value. But if you've watched Heather in other interviews and you get to see the way that she's delivering what she's saying, that has a very big part to play um, in her reaction, I guess. Like, you can't really know her full reaction until you see how she's saying it, because she does act a lot with her face, and, she can really emote Brittany and giving that, like, monotone, no reaction face, or she could be more like herself, which is more playful and joking. So I think we have to take that into consideration. And also, I think she just sounds kind of bored and just wants to play around, honestly. I mean, that whole, like, I think Britney should be in jail, like, that's Heather being Heather. Come on. If any of us have, like, as much as we love these characters and love Nye and Heather, we can tell, or at least I can tell when really Heather's coming out versus, like, the PR garbage that she's supposed to say. Um, and yes, Naya has been more vocal about Britannia, trying to like, not really spoil anything, but still kind of leave suspense with the hope that it's there, because you know what, that's her job. She is told by Fox, by her publicist, by Ryan Murphy, to like they know how big the Britannia fan base is. I mean, why else would they make that horrible, angry lesbian blogger comment and break the fourth wall or whatever? Like, they know that they still have us, and they know that they want us to keep watching. So as long as they keep stringing along the faith and the hope that Britannia will be Endgame, they know that as much as we hate the show, we will still keep watching just to watch Santana and Brittany interact. Um, Ryan had also made a bunch of tweets. People were asking him about Britannia, saying that they've had like unfair treatment. When are we going to get a real dialogue between them? The only dialogue we had was when they broke up with each other, when Santana broke it off pretty much. And so he's claiming that in the Diva episode they will have a meaningful conversation. So you could take that as you will. I choose not to believe anything he says at this point. I am looking forward to Diva only because Santana and Quinn and Rachel will be together. They're going to have a song together, and Santana's going to have 2 other songs. So it's going to be an epic episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So it is Thursday, one more week until new Glee. I don't even know which episode they're replaying tonight, but usually I'll just watch until the end to see if they throw on any more, scenes. And also, they did put up a sneak preview of the Sadie Hawkins episode, which you could find on the Glee website or Glee on Fox here on YouTube. I find it awkward, again, that they're making Tina want to ask Blaine to this dance, which I think is ridiculous. It's like, God, for fuck's sakes, like, find something reasonable for Tina to do. Why is it so difficult? Like, why do you need to make her want a gay boy? It's established that he's gay. Like, why do you want her to have a crush on him? Like, I don't understand why they cannot give her a viable storyline when they've given these new kids way more credible storylines, like Marley with her eating disorder, and I mean, it's like, for example, and like Wade Unique Adams dealing with his whole transgendered cross-dressing, whatever that is. Okay, like these are all viable storylines, and Tina's been on the show for 4 fucking years, and all you've given her is the stuttering one for like half of a concept, and then the whole let me dress like a sorry, like gothic dark vampire girl, and then you made her be the stable girlfriend in in the only pretty much stable relationship with Mike Chang, because I guess they were too boring to include in any of the other triangles, right? So I'm trying not to be offended and think that that was not just because she's Asian, they don't really know what to do with her, but I feel like my cousin's theory that that's why they don't know what to do with her, because she's Asian and Mike's Asian, so they just let them be. I mean, I just don't understand. And then also the other effect, it's like, I don't know, this is the senior year, quote unquote, for 4 of them. So why don't we focus on Artie and Tina? And why don't we focus on Sam and Brittany, not as Bram, but just as seniors? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is my little point on Bram. Yes, I hate Bram. I think they all know, meaning Fox and Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan and Brad Falchuk, all understand that none of us like Bram. It's pretty much universal. It's not just us Britannia fans. Pretty much everybody does not like them. I don't really know that many people who do. And if you do, you're entitled to like them. I'm not going to hate on you for that. The thing that I don't like is, like, I really like Sam. I really do. I like Sam. I think he's a great guy. He's a genuine person, it seems like. And I really like Chord Overstreet. So I I'm sad that he keeps getting all this hate that was obviously just like what Artie got, um, what Kevin McHale got when Artie and Brittany were together. You know, I mean, it's hard. I get it that people have a difficult time separating TV characters from reality. I have a difficult time doing it sometimes, but we need to remember that these are just people playing the roles they are paid to play, the characters that were created, and they are filling the roles. They are not the real characters, okay? So, as much as we want to believe that Heather is Brittany and Naya is Santana, I mean, they are to a certain extent, but they are not their characters. They are real people. They are not two-dimensional, three-dimensional characters. You know, they are actual real people, just like all of the actors are. They are real people who have real lives. So I think it's taken me more and more time to realize that, and I've grown to realize that as I've lived here in the Hollywood area, and I do get to see the stars, celebrities out and about living normal lives. It's very clear that they are just like us. They have lives and they have friends and they need to go grocery shopping too. You know, so I think that I kind of have more sympathy, especially for Cord right now, because I'm sure he's getting lots of hateful tweets and comments and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's sweet that he's taking it in such stride. Like, he still posts pictures on Instagram, and he still tweets, and like he's being a good sport about it. So I'm hoping that people will, I mean, sure, hate Bram if you hate them, love them if you love them. Everyone is entitled to their own ship, as I like to think. Um, but that's my little piece that I want to say about Bram. And it seems that, that relationship will end its course pretty soon. I think that they're more just sort of a filler, I guess, to propel Santana's eventual move to New York. Like, I'm assuming that that is the impetus, because her and Sam do sing a duet in Diva, and then I think that it's like her way of being like, you know what, like, she just is gonna go to New York now. So, I mean, this is what I'm hoping. Obviously, it's apparent that Glee will survive for at least one more season. Hopefully, the 5th season will be its last. I'm surprised they're not going to make this season its last, because the ratings have been so horrible in comparatively speaking to the height of season 1, and season 2 I think was at its height. So they're going to have to figure out a way how to wrap this up. within the next, they have pretty much a year and a half left. So that's about, let's see, the full slate of episodes is about 22. So they have about, 30-ish episodes to figure out how to wrap all this up. I don't foresee it going beyond season 5. It's done. It should have been done honestly last year when all those seniors graduated, but people still want to make money, and at even with the ratings down and everything, Glee still makes money. It might not be number one on the iTunes charts anymore, but people will still buy the music. People will still buy the DVDs when they come out. Fans will still go and watch a tour if it happens. So, Glee still makes money. Not as much as it used to, but money's money, right? And plus, I think that they are under contract, or they're under negotiation right now, to have the 5th season. So it'll probably happen. So this is what I hope happens. Let's see if it happens. I'm hoping that, yes, they finally let Brittany graduate along with Tina, Sam, and Artie. And I honestly just hope that they just throw them all in New York. Like, just let it be. Like, don't make it so convoluted and difficult like it was this year, throwing some kids in Chicago and some in LA. Just let them all go to New York and let them figure their shit out over there. At least that way you could just split it up between two supposed places, New York and Lima. You know? And I do hold out the hope that eventually, yes, Britannia will be together at the end. Whether that happens at the end of this year or when the series finally ends, whenever it happens, I just hope that they end up together. And I hope they don't just do it in the absolute last episode, because then we wouldn't see any of it together. Just like this whole goddamn relationship we never really saw. It was all a bunch of reading between the lines and innuendos, pretty much. But at any rate, I'm trying to think if there's any other spoilers that I know about. I don't really think that I do. I mean, I just wanted to address all the anger that's over in Tumblr right now. So if you're not on Tumblr, that's what's happening. People are either really, really mad at Heather. Other people like myself are kind of like telling everyone to calm down. But those are the comments that have gotten the Britannia fandom in such an uproar. I look forward to watching a brand new episode next week. Sadie Hawkins. Finally, it's back in a week. I'm trying not to get my hopes up anymore, honestly. I think the only episode I really have hopes for is Diva. And like I said repeatedly, it's only because Santana is going to be featured pretty heavily in that episode. I think it's going to center around her mostly. And according to Naya, she says that she knows she's been largely absent from the front half of these episodes, but she'll be playing a more prominent role in the rest of the episodes of the season. But, I mean, that's probably because she's going to be in New York, because then she'll be with Kurt and Rachel, and maybe Quinn. She did say that she was shooting a scene with Diana Agron yesterday or 2 days ago. So that's exciting too. I thought that Quinn or Diana was only going to make like one more appearance in Diva, and maybe they are taping a part for that Diva episode. But I have a feeling that most of these kids are done with the show. Amber, I think, is pretty much moved on. Somebody even noted that she took it off her Twitter biography line that she was on Glee. So she's pretty much done with the show. She was barely even used in the 2 episodes she was in. I foresee Diana being done too. I mean, they've assassinated her character so much. I don't see why she'd even want to come back anymore. The only characters they really tend to write for now, obviously, are Finn, Rachel, Kurt, and then Santana if she is going to be in New York. Puck is floating in and out, and he's tied to the show because of Jake. But as for the rest of them, I don't really foresee them coming back in a much greater capacity than they already have. So, I don't know what to say. Glee used to be this one thing that made me so happy, and just like everything else in my life, it's been making me sadder and sadder. So, I've just kind of been focusing on other things to make me happy. I've been working on my fan fiction. So feel free to check it out if you want to read happier Brittany and Santana. I tend to write more Heya or Heather and Naya, but I'm trying to steer away from that because, as I said, my whole, separating the character from reality concept. So that's why I'm working really a lot more on my fanfiction that's based on the characters, not the real life people. So anyway, I will be having the links to everything I just said down below. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Peace out, homies. Take care and be well. See you all. Hopefully, I'll have the Glee cap up by next Friday, the 25th. Alright? Take care. Bye.